Hello, everybody. Happy Hump Day. Happy Wednesday to all of you. I have my very special guest. This is Brandon Barnum. He is the CEO of HOA.com and the new author of Raving Referrals. And today, that is exactly what we're going to be talking about. We're talking about how to get more raving referrals. So if you are a business owner or if you are just in business at all and you're looking at how can I build my business with more people talking about me, word of mouth, you're in the right place. So Brandon, thank you so much for joining me today on Tisha Talks Live. I appreciate you. I appreciate you jumping in my hot seat and letting me ask you all sorts of fun questions. But thanks for being here.
Oh, always my pleasure. Anytime you ask, I say yes.
And anytime you ask, I say yes.
I love that about you. Thank you.
It's reciprocal. It's how we
Absolutely.
have those referral-based businesses.
Crazy,
all right.
isn't it?
It is crazy. All right. So if you are tuning in live to this on Facebook, on LinkedIn, or YouTube, or if you're catching the replay, you can always ask us a question just using the comment box, the chat box. I love that Nat Handler is already listening, tuning in live off of LinkedIn, saying, I love the intro music and the countdown. So thanks. I know it's been a bit. I haven't been on for a couple of weeks because I was, on vacation, unplugging. So great to have Brandon back with me. And as we get this started, let's start off with the first question, Brandon. So we talk about raving referrals. What would you say is the fastest way to attract to those referrals in your business?
Yeah, it's a great question. And if you're talking about client referrals, the best way to get referrals is to ask. One of my mentors is Mark Victor Hansen, the author of Chicken Soup for the Soul. And he taught me back in 2004 that you ASK to GET. And I'm telling you, it works. We've all heard about the law of attraction, but the way that you trigger or activate the law of attraction is by taking action. It's in the word attraction. It's action, right? That's the secret of the secret. And so you've got to take action, which is by asking. Now, one of the things that I teach in the book, Raving Referrals, is the 3 keys to really activating client referrals. And I was just talking to an insurance agency owner the other day, and he said, you know what? I just don't feel comfortable asking for referrals. I don't want to make my client uncomfortable. And so what do I do? And I said, well, the beauty is when you do it the right way, it's totally comfortable for everyone involved. And the first key is to set the stage, right? When you're first starting to work with somebody new, just let them know, look, just like you were referred to me, most of my business comes by referral. And I'd like to ask you a favor. If after I've proven myself to you, and if you love the service and the value that I've added for you, would it be okay if I ask for referrals at a later date, right? So you're not asking now, you're asking for permission to ask later, what I call setting the stage. So that's number 1. Now, number 2 is, you listen for the referral triggers. Now, in the book, there's about 20 different referral triggers. If I were to, encapsulate it down, because we've only got a few minutes here, it really comes down to someone expressing appreciation for what you do. When they're like, oh my gosh, Tisha, you're so amazing. Thank you for whatever it is, whatever service that you provide, and this person's expressing that to you, you just say, I am so glad you feel that way. Right? As I mentioned when we first met, I get almost all of my business by referrals. It helps me keep my costs down and really dedicate as much time and energy as possible to helping clients. And so remember earlier I said that I'd be asking you referrals later. Well, since you feel this way, now is a perfect time. So just like you were referred to me, I'd love to help the people you care about. Who do you know that? And then you finish the sentence. So set the stage, listen for the referral triggers, and then ASK to GET.
Oh, I love that tip, because so many of us, like you said with your client, we're a little afraid to just ask. But here's another thing. I think that people are afraid to get the testimonial. And the testimonial is them saying, I want to give this to you. I want to give this to you because you've been such a blessing to my life. Like, you've served me and you've helped me. then a
Absolutely.
testimonial is golden, and that can also pave the way to receiving more referrals, because it's not you touting, look at me, Brandon, I am amazing. It's other people going, look at her, she is amazing. Look at him, he does such an amazing job at this service. So it just goes hand in hand. I was talking to my business coach today, and she said these words. She's like, there's only two reasons why people fail, right? It's that not enough people know about you, or they know about you, but they've forgotten about you.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you're not staying top of mind with them. You might have, and it's that thing, like we kind of got on the subject of posting. We were talking about this in the green room. Not everybody in the world is seeing your posts. So it is about constant reminders and constant letting them know that I'm here and this is what I do and this is how I serve people. So some great reminders on just some key tips. And yes, I love that. I think that too many of us get afraid about the ask.
Absolutely. And you mentioned testimonials, which are so important for your business. And when somebody's expressing their appreciation for you, what I recommend is that you write down what they say, right? And say, thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate it. And if you would be okay with this, I'd love to kind of use that as a testimonial. Would it be okay? What I heard you say was, and kind of parrot back what they just told you. And just ask for permission if you could use that quote on your website, on your social media. They'll almost always say yes. And if you've got a designer, you can put that into a nice graphic and post it on your social media to show that social proof that you're someone that deserves to be trusted.
So I have one, and he's actually on, and I just want to give some shout outs, of course, to Nat Handler, Conrad Nelson, Luis Melendez, who are joining us live off of LinkedIn and on Facebook. But Luis Melendez, so this is a guy, Brandon, who lives out in LA, who is a loyal fan of Tisha Talks. He comes in every single Friday. He's Mr. Groovy. That's what he calls himself, and that's how I associate him. And he gave me the most glowing testimonial by surprise, and he did it more in a LinkedIn DM. And here's a step that I asked Luis. I said, I love this so much, but can I share this? And I was like, could you just do me one small step and write it as a recommendation on my LinkedIn profile? And it was just a quick copy and paste. And then I took another step right after he did that, and I created like a little, we're talking about posting, right? I created a little Canva poster that said, thank you so much, Mr. Groovy. And I shared his testimonial as one of my posts because I was so moved by this surprising, wonderful gesture that talked about how much he gains and gleans from this 15 minutes that I get on every Wednesday. Like, it was just so touching. But what happened with that? Like, everybody saw that. That's something that will live and breathe on LinkedIn, on my social media forever and ever. So Luis, thank you. Thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate it. But that's what we're talking about today, is how to get more of those raving referrals. So I want to ask you a couple more questions as well. But what do you feel like, so you get these, these referrals, and now you're creating these great partnerships with these individuals, and you're collaborating and doing all these great things together. What do you feel, Brandon, are the keys to creating that successful partnership with people?
Oh, it's a great question. Yeah, what we teach is the referral partner blueprint. So number one, you need to identify who it is that you should be partnered with. Who are your strategic connections? And it all comes down to who's already serving your ideal client, right? Because there's people out there, whether you serve business owners or homeowners, is kind of the two categories that it kind of drills down to. And there's some specialties beyond that. But there's a group of professionals and business owners that are serving those ideal clients each and every day, right? So number one, identify them strategically. And then number two, approach them strategically as well. And really the best way to do that is just to let them know, look, I'm looking for a good CPA, financial planner, realtor, mortgage lender, whatever it is that you're looking for your business, and say, look, I'm looking for the best of the best and somebody that I can build my business with over time. So are you open to that conversation? Most people are. They want more business. And if you say, look, I'm looking to promote you and refer you to all of my clients, and I'd even be interested in doing some cross promotion. That's something that so many people miss the ball on. We teach in the Raving Referrals book 21 different co-marketing campaigns. And I've used every single one of them. Most of them you can do for free. And just what you talked about with Luis is one of the strategies is actually giving testimonials, ratings, and reviews for your referral partners. It doesn't cost you anything. The easiest way is to take your phone and record a quick video and say, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful, Luis, thank you so much. You made such a difference to me, right? And now you've got that video. Now you can take the video, you can transcribe that and put it into a text form and make it the graphic like you did, or you can strip out the audio and make it an audiogram too. So many different ways. But first and foremost, look to add value. How can you make a difference in the lives of the people that you're looking to partner with? Give first and just show up as help and constantly look to help them in their business, just like you do, Tisha, all the time. And people will be just magnetically drawn to help you.
I like it. I like it. Okay. So we have another guest coming in, Peter Christian. Thank you so much for joining us on LinkedIn. If you guys have any questions, by all means, this is the guy to ask. And Brandon, I want to give you just a couple minutes on just your background, because you wrote this great book, Raving Referrals, but I think it's important that you guys know why he is such an expert at raving referrals. And tell me a little bit about just your story so we can let the audience know who you are and what you're about, Brandon.
Yeah, for me, it started in my 20s. I had a kid when I was 22 and I got custody when I was 24. So I was a single dad in my 20s right after college. And I was working as a marketing director for an estate planning law firm. And I started bouncing my mortgage checks because I couldn't pay my daycare and my mortgage. So I had to basically stop that and get into the mortgage business. And I had a mentor that started teaching me the art and the science of raving referrals. And I took my income from $20,000 to $200,000 in 18 months by building referral partnerships. So since that time, I've done over $500 million in transactions by referrals, and just been building technology really for the last 10 years, platforms to help people partner and cross promote. And our last company was called Refer.com. We built the world's largest referral network with over 5 million members. We did an acquisition we were acquired, I should say, in 2019. So it's now pod.io. And just, I'm just committed to helping business professionals and business owners grow their business by referral, because it's the fastest, easiest, cheapest way to do it.
Oh, I love it. And no, he did not say 5 million. He said 500 million. Right, Brandon? You were saying
$500 million in transactions, 5 million members for Refer.com. So I said them both, actually.
Yes, yeah. You said them both. Awesome. I love that. Thank you so much for giving us a little more insight into your journey. And I love these stories because you're like, all right, I'm going to do this. Like, this is where I am, but this is where I'm going to go. And this is how I'm going to do it. And
all those single parents out there, they know you have to. Like, when it's your job to take care of another human being, you don't have a choice. You got to figure it out.
Yeah, you do have to figure it out. So thank you so much, Brandon, for sharing that. All right, back to some questions. How can you create the biggest impact to business people you partner with? So we're talking about impact here. How do you create that impact with them?
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing to me that so few people really create referral partnerships. We've surveyed thousands of business owners and professionals, and only 12% said that they actually had a referral system in place to build referral relationships and build their referral business. So number one, just again, show up as help. If you've got people that you're really wanting to build a referral partnership with, give first. Focus on them. I'm telling you, if you give, the more you give, and you've heard Bob Berg talk about it in the Go Giver or Giver Gain strategy with BNI, the more you give, the more you'll receive. My license plate back in Oregon was give more. So give. Make a difference for everybody in your life, and they will want to reciprocate. They'll be drawn to give back and make a difference for you.
Yes. I can attest to that. Oh, and of course, being a Bob Berg fan for sure. It's true, because I'm entering into a new collaboration, and I mentioned this to you with a real estate vendor here. And as we were talking, we really got along well because we have a lot of common interests. Our sons both play for the same soccer club. Nice. We're about the same age. Like, we just had so many interests. But when he was asking, these are the things that I'd like to do, I was like, oh, I know those people. Like he wanted to
Right?
get into one of the newspapers. And I said, I know the publisher. He's a great friend of mine. Of course, I'd love to. Like those things make such a big difference. So it's leveraging who you have in your network too. I want to support you. And of course, we're going to collaborate and do this together. So he's in Africa right now. And he's like, Tisha, when I get back, we're taking over the world, you and I. And I was like, oh, let's do it.
All
Let's do
right.
it. Let's have
That's
so much
awesome.
fun doing this. But again, if you never ask, you'll never know, right? So
right.
If I just sat here and said, okay, maybe this is a company that I'd like to really collaborate with and team up with, and possibly I'll get a referral. I mean, he was just, I remember talking to him, Brandon, about like, I'll give you referral fees. And he's like, it's okay. Like, I just want to support you. I just love what you're doing. And I like you as a person. I would just love to support you. And that meant the world to me, of course.
Right.
Of course. So,
and that's what's so cool too about building referral partnerships. It goes beyond the money. Like build partnerships with people you love hanging out with. You know, back when I was in the mortgage business, I would go to movies with these people, go to concerts with my realtors, insurance agents, financial planners, attorneys, right? Home service professionals. These were people I just loved hanging out with. I'd invite them to concerts. I would create client appreciation events. We'd do wine tastings. We'd rent out a sports box, right? But just have fun with it and really turn your business into your life, merge the two, and find people that you just love hanging out with. And then it doesn't feel like work, it's just play.
You know, so we have, I know Conrad's on here. He's also a realtor with EXP. I just got in a conversation yesterday with another realtor with another brokerage, and she was talking about the same thing. She's like, I feel like I always have to be talking about real estate. And I was like, why? And I said, what do you like to do? She's like, I love to work out at my gym. And I said, how many transactions have you gotten from your gym? She's like, oh my gosh, I've actually gotten about 6 transactions just in the last year from people that take class with me. Right. And I said, and were you talking about real estate? She's like, no, we were just having a good time sweating it out to Zumba. I don't know if that was the class. I'm just saying that she's, you know, that she was talking about just being a person and hanging out and doing things, because when people like you, they're going to be like, I like you. I want to work with you. And then obviously they have friends that do a lot of the same things that they do. So I love these points that you're hitting on, Brandon, because it's like, hook them in, work with that client, love on that client, give a lot to that client, have them come back and be like, how do I just keep helping you? And how, you know, here's how you can help me grow my business. I work on referrals. I love working with clients like you. If there are more of you, I'd love to work with you too. Right?
Absolutely. And some people get hung up, right? They think about sales and they think sales means manipulation. And really, you should reframe your brain. It's not about selling someone or convincing them to buy from you. It's really about serving them. When you're committed to giving someone the absolute best solution or service that they need, that you know is going to make a difference to them, then you're not convincing them of anything. You're just sharing your passion and you're really showing up as help. And that's the key to everything.
Yeah, showing up, ready to help, ready to serve. All right, good stuff.
And for your business, be on time and live your word, right? My mortgage company was called Integrity Lending for a reason, right? We did what we said we were going to do, and that is so important. So if you're a person of integrity and people trust you, we've all heard the know, like, trust. That's the equation. It's pretty simple, but show up as help and then start building long-term relationships. That's what it's all comes down to.
I always say this. Okay, Brandon, this is not a one-night stand relationship that I try to enter into with people. This is a long-term relationship. It's
Absolutely.
Long-term. Like, you know, it just is. So I'm going to shout this out too. Conrad just saying people buy from people they like before they know and or trust. Very, very true. Very, very true. You know, they want to know that you're a real person. If you're constantly out there and you're constantly trying to sell people, it just feels icky, then people are not going to come to you because they're like, God, can you imagine when I talk to that person, what they're going to say? Like, it's Absolutely. A sales pitch. Yes. This is a great one. LinkedIn user. Be the product of your process that you service. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Very
good
nice.
stuff. Yeah. And if I know we have a comment here, I missed most of this with Brandon. All right, guys, you're in for a treat. These are all recorded. They're all on my YouTube. You can binge watch the heck out of them if you're like, I've missed them, or I missed Tisha and I missed what she said. By all means, go to my YouTube channel. I'll put the link up here and you can find it there. But you can go back. And then Brandon, he's a real person too. He doesn't just like come from outer space and I decided to interview them. He's here. So if you have questions for him, he's on LinkedIn. He is on LinkedIn. So you can definitely connect with him. All right, Brandon, I have another question for you while we wrap this up, and then I'll give you time to do your shameless plug about the upcoming book that you've got. And this question is, how do you recommend people build their communities or tribes? I really love this question too. So tell us, how do you do that? How do you build a Zumba community?
You do what Tisha does. Like, I was raving about you yesterday, quite frankly, Tisha. I said, you know what? The number one person that I've seen on social that does just an amazing job is Tisha. Like, the way that you engage everybody, you're giving all the time, like, you are the model. So, we were talking just before we got started about some people are fearful of getting started, right? And you really help them overcome that fear. But it's just be your authentic self. It's get out there, get involved in a community. For me, I used to coach youth sports for 10 years, baseball, basketball, football with my sons, my daughter. I was just on the field constantly, and people see the impact that you're making in the community, whether that's volunteering, getting involved in your church, whatever it is. I always teach people to be a charity champion. Find something that you're passionate about and get involved, make a difference, connect with those people and create your community and be a leader. Like, this world, especially now, needs more people to rise up and lead. And I think a lot of people just need to feel like the invitation. So I invite you to be the leader that you are inside. You've got a voice, you've got a message that you're meant to deliver with others and that you can make a difference. So don't hold it back. Don't be that secret, right? Stand up, share your voice, and people will be attracted to you.
Great stuff. I love it. All right. I want to say something real quick too, Brandon, before it escapes me. I remember I was talking to a woman who does some videography work, and she said to me, she's like, wow, you do Tisha Talks Lives, you do Lessons in My Lexus. Now you're doing Teach Me Tisha, which is a new series I just launched yesterday because I had people asking me questions about branding and entrepreneurship and so forth. And I was like, how else can I share the knowledge except going and doing a video? And I remember when she asked me this question, she said, you're giving so much of it for free. Why? Why? Like, why are you giving all your value for free? Like, right. Shouldn't you not do that? And I said, okay, like, it's my knowledge. And if that piques the interest of someone, because remember, 7 billion people aren't seeing that message, right? Right? Maybe they're seeing bits and pieces of it, but if I'm giving them the value, perhaps they're remembering that and going, this is a girl who knows what she's talking about. I like how she talks about it. And she seems approachable. She seems very authentic. I want to talk to her. I want to open the conversation. So what would you say to someone like this woman who says, aren't you afraid that you're giving too much for free, like too much value for free?
Right. What's funny is the internet marketers out there would tell you to put some of that value behind what? What do they call it? A paywall. So why would you build a wall in your business that stops people from coming into business with you? It's, again, one of the reasons I was just raving about you, because you do add so much value. And now I see all these other people are wanting to interview you because they see what a superstar you are and they want you to come educate their tribe and their community. And it's because you give without attachment to getting, right? Mm-hmm. You're focused on making a difference in other people's life, and you're not attached to how it's going to benefit you. You just know that it will. And it doesn't even matter to you because you're a born giver. That's who you are. And when you embrace that, all of that flow that seems stopped right now, where sometimes you feel stuck. I'm not talking to Tisha, I'm talking to everybody else out there, right? If it doesn't feel like money flows to you, maybe you've created a paywall that says, I'm holding back. And when you hold back, then you're not fully in the flow. So give freely, give abundantly, and it will be given to you.
Okay, this is so good, Brandon, because the gal I had just a couple weeks ago, and I tagged you today on LinkedIn. If you saw, it was a clip from Hallie Avolio, and she was on a Tisha Talks Live with me on how to be sassy as fuck. And I did not, kid proof that for everybody. She just put, sassy AF. But what we talked about in that snippet, so if you did not listen to it, go back. Brandon, you're tagged in that post too. But she talked exactly about what you just said. If money is not flowing to you freely, if you are trying too hard, you are gripping the wheel of life too dang hard. You need to learn to just let it flow and put in your mind, I want to receive joy, happiness, abundance, clients. I want these things for my life, and let that start to happen. But if you're like, it's gonna happen, you're so frustrated, you're just gonna burn out. It's just not gonna happen for you. I can honestly say this, and I'll say this to everybody listening. Everybody, Brandon, I was that person. For years, I was that person. Ask my husband. He's like, this is a totally different Tisha in Vegas than I remember. But it was because I was so stressed before about the next paycheck, the next client, the next this. And now I'm like, all right, I'm just going to be me, do my thing, have fun at it. I mean, I was just telling Brandon, I was just at a trampoline park an hour ago. I was jumping up and down on trampolines with my kid and my sister. I was having fun doing that, and then I get to do this. So, it's like, let's let a lot of that stress go. We don't need that stress. We just need to learn to let it flow and just let that abundance come in. There you go. I said it.
Master, I love it. Mic drop.
Boom. All right. Well, I know we are coming short of time. So, Brandon, in the last minute or so that we have, I want to give you the floor, my friend, and tell us about your book, Raving Referrals, and what you got going on. Floor is yours.
Yeah, what's cool is my shameless self-promotion is actually a give. So number one, if you want to connect with me, LinkedIn's the best place. You look me up, Brandon Barnum, you'll find me. I'm the CEO of HOA.com. So that's the title that you'll see me at. You'll also see a couple other companies I'm chairman of. What I'm doing right now is the last piece of the book. The book's written. It's with a publisher in New York. There's a couple things that I'm completing right now. One is my experts and influencers section. So if you're an expert and an influencer and you're looking for people to connect with you because you want them to feature you on their podcast, kind of like what we're doing here with Tisha, right? Tisha's going to be featured in the book as well. And so if that's of interest to you, reach out to me in LinkedIn and let's connect. Let's do a one-on-one in Zoom, and we'll see if there's a subject matter that I can fit you in that makes sense so that I can shamelessly promote you in the book. The other thing I'm looking for is success stories. So if referrals have made a difference in your life, I want to tell you your story. I want to make you famous. So again, go onto LinkedIn, connect with me, and then let's see about doing a one-on-one and featuring you in the book. I need some great stories about how referrals have really transformed people's lives and given them that financial freedom they desire and deserve.
Mic drop. Where's your mic drop?
Yeah,
he's like,
here it is. Hold on.
Where's your fake mic?
I actually do have a mic here, but this is something I got from.
Don't break that. Don't break
that.
That's
sport,
a really
so
nice one. There you go. Mic drop. Mic drop. I love this. All right. I'm guessing this is Bruce. Bruce, is this you? Bruce saying that your posting motivated me to work out for 30 minutes. You saw me jumping around trampolines. Yeah, that was fun.
Nice. Nice.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in live and catching this first episode back. Happy last day of June, July, just around the corner tomorrow. I hope you guys are going to crush it. New month ahead. And Brandon, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for spending your evening with me and enlightening us with your raving referral tips and your new book and all you've got going on. And just making me have a great rest of my day. I appreciate that.
Thank you. What a great way to finish the first half of the year, huh?
Yeah, I know, right? Already. Second half of the year.
Over. Q3 starts tomorrow. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, guys.
You, Tisha. Appreciate
we'll see you back next week on another Tisha Talks Live. We'll see ya. Bye.